So once again, class 9th, the same lesson, that is nature of matter. In our previous class, we are studying about the solution or true solution. The second type of solution is there that we call colloids or colloidal solution. Colloid or colloidal solution. Colloid or colloidal solution. Now, what is this colloid or the colloidal solution? Colloidal solution or the colloid is a solution in which the size of the solute particle is intermediate between the truth solution and suspension. What is suspension? That we have to study in our next class. So, what is the colloid solution? It is a solution in which the size of the solute particle is intermediate between the true solution and the suspension. It means colloid is placed in between the true solution and the suspension. So, what is the colloidal solution or colloid? A colloid is a solution in which size of solute particle is in between solution and suspension. In our next class, we are going to study about the suspension. If the size of the solute particle is in between the solution and suspension, so in other words, we are able to write that the size of solute particle in colloid is intermediate between solution and suspension. Now, what is the size of the solute particle? The size of the solute particle of colloid. The size of the solute particle in colloid is in between 1 nm to 100 nm. What is the size of the solute particle? It is in between 1 nm to 100 nm. That we must write in the property. Okay. Now, what is the definition? You know very well. When the size of the solid particle is placed in between the solution and the suspension, intermediate between solution and suspension, then it is called colloidal solution or colloid. It is strictly heterogeneous in nature. Heterogeneous, you know very well what is heterogeneous, but it looks like homogeneous. Actually, it is heterogeneous, but it looks like homogeneous. For example, blood. You know, your blood is red in color and lots of components are present there. And that component we call the blood cell. A blood is composed of plasma, is composed of RBC, WBC and platelets. Okay, but when you see the drop of the blood, are you able to visible all this? No, this is not visible by our naked eye, but it is present in blood. So blood is a colloid. And what is the character of colloid? The solute particle is present in it. So it looks like it is actually heterogeneous, but it looks like homogeneous. Milk. Take a spoon of milk and look after carefully. Are you able to find out the solid particle of calcium, solid particle of glucose, solid particle of ghee? No, that is not visible. but that is present in the milk. So the colloid is the nature of the colloid is actually heterogeneous, but it looks like the homogeneous. When we are studying about the solution, we know that solution is a component which is made up of two parts. One is the solute and one is the solvent. Solution is made up of solute and solvent. Now, how the colloid is formed? Colloid is actually formed with two phase. Two phase is present in colloid also. First is the solution. Solution is composed of solvent and solute. And you know that solvent is more in quantity and solute is less in quantity. Now, what happened in colloid? Colloid is also composed of two substances. One is called the dispersed phase. Dispersed. One is called the dispersed phase. Okay. And what the next is called? Next is called the dispersion medium. Dispersion medium. Okay. A colloid is made up of two substances. One is called the dispersion medium and one is called the dispersed phase. Actually, dispersion medium is called solvent in solution. It means it is more in quantity and it is less in quantity. So, as the solution, it is made up of solute and solvent. Colloid is also made of two substances. One is the dispersion medium and second is called the dispersed phase. It is made up of two parts. One is called dispersed phase. Colloids are made of first dispersed phase. Okay. Now, what is dispersed phase? Dispersed phase is present in a small proportion. Dispersed phase is also always present in a small proportion. As I told you, the size of solid particle is too small. The size of dispersed phase is too small and it is present in a small quantity. Dispersed phase, it is always present in very small amount. Very small amount. And what about the size? The size of this is in between 1 nm to 100 nm, or in between 10 to the power minus 9 to 10 to the power 7 meter, or in between 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter to 10 to the power minus 5 centimeter. That we must write in the property. So what is the dispersed phase? It is always present in a small amount. But it is present where it is present? It is present in dispersion medium. It is present in dispersion medium. So what is dispersion medium? Dispersion, it is always present very small amount in dispersion medium. Okay. Now what is dispersion medium? Dispersion medium which is present in excess amount and in which the dispersed phase is present. It is always in excess amount and dispersed phase is present in it. So this is the dispersion phase and dispersion medium. We have some combination here, some combination of various state of matter in dispersion medium and dispersion phase. Okay, so we are going to make a chart. First, dispersion medium. dispersion medium, dispersion, dispersed phase, type, what we call it, and example. Okay. The various examples of these are there. What is the dispersed medium? Sometimes dispersed medium is gas and dispersed phase is liquid. First, dispersion medium is gas and dispersed phase is liquid. When these two combine together, it means gas is more in amount and liquid is less in amount. That is called aerosol. Aerosol. We have example of this that we call the fog, dhund, mist, cloud. All these are the example of dispersed medium gas having a small amount of water as a dispersed phase. The dispersed medium gas also combines with solid. When it combines with solid, again it forms aerosol. Okay, again dispersion medium is gas, but dispersed phase is solid. This is also called aerosol, a solution of air with liquid or solid. What is aerosol? A solution of air with liquid or solid. This is also called aerosol. And what is the example here? Smoke, dust. Okay. Now dispersion medium. If dispersion medium is liquid and dispersed phase is gas, third, dispersion medium is liquid, dispersed phase is gas. When these two combine together, they form foam. What we call it? Foam. So where you are able to see the foam in various places. Where? In shaving cream, soda, water, Actually, what is the combination there? There, liquid is more in amount and gas is very less in amount. So it is called the foam. When liquid combines with liquid, the dispersion medium is liquid and this dispersion medium dispersed liquid in it. The liquid is dispersed in dispersion medium liquid. Then what happens? It forms emulsion. Okay, what are the example of emulsion? You see some medicine bottle. In medicine bottle, you are able to read this term. Some medicine bottle, if it is in the liquid state, go and read this term. That is the emulsion. Emulsion means liquid is mixed with the liquid. This example is the milk. Again, medicine is the example of one. Cream is example of this, not the milk cream. This is the face cream. Face cream is the example of emulsion. Okay. When liquid is the dispersed medium and solid is added in that. What is the dispersed medium? It is liquid only and solid is added in that. This is called salt. What we call it? We call it the salt. Okay. Salt is called when the dispersed medium is the liquid and solid is added in that. What is the example? Example is called mud, muddy water, paint. Okay, this emulsion word you see in the paint box also, emulsion. The liquid is liquid combined together, emulsion. Paint is also example of emulsion. Okay, nowadays some paints are there in which it is written as the emulsion. It means liquid is mixed in the liquid. What happens when the dispersed medium is solid? Dispersed medium is solid and the dispersed phase is gas. Okay, it is a combination of solid and gas. When solid and gas is formed, they form the foam. Again, the foam is formed. It is also called foam. What is the example of this? This is very common example you saw. That is the rubber, foam rubber. Foam rubber that you get in the seat of the buses. In the question you got the foam. That is the example of this solid in the gas. Pumic stone. Okay. That is sponge, foam, rubber foam or whatever you're going to call it. Then pumic stone, pumica, we call it the pumica. Pumica is a stone that we use in our bathroom to clean our skin. That is called the pumic stone or pumica. This is an example of solid in gas. Now, what is the example of solid and liquid? When okay, I'm going to rub it here. From here. Okay, I'm going to rub it here. This is number 6. Now number 7. Okay, number 7. The dispersed medium is solid and dispersed phase is liquid. Dispersed medium is solid and dispersed phase is liquid. Liquid is in a small amount combines with a large amount of the solid. What is formed here? It forms gel. All the jellies, they are very much like it. Jelly. Jelly, it is a type of the sweet that you eat very well. That's jelly. Jelly is the example of this. Cheese, butter, curd. Okay, jelly, cheese, butter. You know all this thing very well. Curd, all these are the example of gel. One more is there. What is last is? Last is the when solid is combined with solid. Okay, what happens when solid is combined with solid? The dispersed medium is solid. The dispersed phase is solid. Then it is called the solid salt. Solid salt. What is the example of solid salt? Various example is there. For example, glass. For example, alloy. These all are the examples of the solid salt. So these are some examples of dispersed phase and dispersed medium. These are the properties of or characteristics of colloids. Properties or characteristics of colloids. First, as I told you, all the colloidal solutions is actually the heterogeneous. They are heterogeneous in nature, but they strictly look at homogeneous as we are unable to see the dispersed phase, dispersed medium, in dispersed phase in the dispersed medium. Okay, we are unable to see the solid particles with the help of our open eye. Then, so it is looks like homogeneous, but actually it is heterogeneous in nature. It is heterogeneous in nature. Okay, it looks like homogeneous, but it is heterogeneous in nature. Why does it look like homogeneous? Because the size of dispersed phase is too small. So we see with the help of open eye. We are unable to see with the help of open eye, but we are able to see with the help of the microscope. Now, what is the solid particle? The size of particles, that is we call the dispersed medium. Dispersed medium. As I told you, it's bigger than solution, but it is smaller than suspension. The size of solute particle or particle is in between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer or 10 to the power minus 9 meter to 10 to the power minus 7 meter or 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter to 10 to the power minus 5 centimeter. It is bigger than solution, but it is smaller than suspension. The next topic we have to discuss in our class is the suspension only. When we are able to discuss all the three, we are able to explain or define or differentiate all these three together. Now, what is the third property? As I told you, We are unable to see it with the open eye, with naked eye, but we are able to see with the help of microscope. So third point, the particles cannot be seen by naked eye or open eye. Naked eye. Why? Because the size is too small. But the particles are easily seen by microscope. It is very much clear also, no? You went in the pathological lab to check the blood, whatever the component which is present in the blood. Okay, if the less hemoglobin is there, the pathologist tell you the hemoglobin percent is less than the average, or any parasite is there, malaria parasite or any other thing. If it is present in it, then the pathological report must inform us that some type of the problem going on in the blood. We are unable to see with the help of the naked eye, but in pathological lab, certain microscopes are there, so we are easily seeing the dispersed phase in dispersed media. Okay, and next is it is quite stable. Okay, it is quite stable. What is the meaning of stable? If we kept it in the table, the solid particle or dispersed phase or the particle cannot be suppressed in the water. So it is quite stable as the particle or particles do not settle. Okay, see in the milk only, if you keep a glass of milk, a kachori of milk, a bowl of milk, the particle which is present in the milk is not settled down in the water. So the particles are quite stable in nature. Now what is next? The colloidal solution can scatter the beam of light. It can scatter a beam of light. Simple process is there. Take a glass of milk. The glass is present in your home. Take a glass of milk. This is not the steel glass. This is a glass of the glass. And what you kept here? You have to keep the milk here. Take a torch. Okay, this is a pencil torch. Suppose this is a torch. Now focus the light here. This light is traveled like this. It means they are able to scatter the beam of light, especially pass through it. Okay, the beam of light, it is scattered through it. It is very easily scattered the beam of light. Now, what is the next? Next, it is also very important thing. Okay, we are unable to separate. We are able to separate it with the help of certain processes. Okay, that is the physical method only. That is not the chemical method. So they can be separated. They can be separated by some physical methods. Now, what type of physical methods are there? In your home, you saw very well. Your mother is able to separate the cream from the milk or the butter from the milk. How it gets separated? The process of separating the butter or cream from the milk is called centrifugation. What happens in your home? One instrument is there that we call rehi. Your mother kept the curd, especially curd, in one pot, and she start rotating that curd like this with the help of the spoon or rehi. What happens? After few seconds, after few minutes, the butter is separated from that curd. Okay, that process is called centrifugation. So they can be separated by some physical method like centrifugation. So some methods are there to separate the dispersed phase from the dispersed medium. So these all are the characteristics of the colloid. We have to study some more experimental properties of the colloid. That is some experimental importance of the colloid. That is in the next class. you.